guys, good morning. I hope you have a lovely day. Okay, I think this is a good throw. I do. I think as in life, there's challenges in everything, right? But I don't think this is something that you can't, I don't think this is something you're going to get stuck under here. We come in with the Lover card. We have the Three of Swords, the Ace of Wands, and the Chariot card. Okay. First of all, let me just say, I think that, how do I say? I think this is a good throw. I think that there is success in here. I think there is a long life in here, a happy life, a happy person, full but simplistic. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of your end goal, I should say, is where I kind of see this. I think, though, that you might be having a problem getting this out of the gate. I think for some of you, this is a relationship that's, it tests the limits of the relationship, right? If it's a great relationship and that's not the case, then this leads your life in a better direction, okay? If it's not, it's something that's going to lead you little by little by little to withdraw, you know, from life in and of itself, not just from this relationship. It'll be something that you end up basically becoming almost invisible is what I feel, okay? Now, keep in mind that the Lover's card and the Chariot, they're sequential. One's a 6, one's a 7, right? They're temporary things. That's why I'm saying that if there's a little hiccup here, fix it. You know what I mean? If it's a bigger hiccup here, fix it. The Three of Swords in here is something too it's a pattern. You know what I mean? It's something that you want to get yourself out from under. If you look at the card, right, it's got two swords, which would be the Two of Swords, that woman that usually sits with she's protecting herself. She's not wanting to see something, right? It can be a pattern that you're going to need to take care of, because to get that clarity of the Ace of Swords, you need to figure out what it is that you're either not wanting to see, not wanting to deal with, whatever is crossing your path. You know what I mean? If you're trying to go for a promotion and you can see the corner office and it is exactly what you want, you have to ask yourself, am I willing to put the work in, though, too, the blood, sweat, and tears that goes along with it, right? Sometimes that's the defeating factor of the Three of Swords. It's like, oh, crap, I did not realize that it was going to take this much of my energy or this much of this, right? The Chariot card in and of itself is a victory card. But to get that victory, you've got to get it together. Like, you've got to get your life together. You've got to figure out, do I repeatedly get myself into these positions? Whereas what I'm trying to do right now, where am I taking responsibility for it? And is it going to be on solid ground at some point? Remember, threes are cards that they're not exactly solid. They're the bursting out of it, right? It's like I lit the sparkler, but what am I going to do with it? You know what I mean? There's no solid ground yet. That was a bad example. It would be something that, you know, you've got to put some work into. The Three of Swords is something, though, that you're at odds with, especially the Three of Swords with the Ace of Wands. You're at odds with your knowledge and your wisdom. They both don't always work so well together. You know what I mean? How are you applying these things? What are your thought processes? How am I getting from A to Z, and will I move a mountain for it? The same old scenario. Because this is how it will show up. That Three of Swords is going to show up via that Ace of Wands, right? Like, the opportunities are here, the ideas are here, but the Three of Swords is the problem. You know what I mean? So you could be trying to go in one direction, and you may have a part of your life that's hindering you from doing that. It's, how do I use this Ace of Wands? That's Kundalini energy. That's passion is prayer. That's a phallic card, though, too. You have to ask yourself, if this is a relationship, am I getting into relationships that are really passionate out of the gate, but then they fizzle out? Maybe that's where the sparkler analogy was supposed to fit in. It could be something like that, too, because that Chariot card, like I say, it's someone who's mature enough and wants a stable relationship in their life, You know what I mean? And that's where the thought of the Lover card comes in. It's like long-term stability here. If that's the relationship aspect, right? If it's not, you've got a conflict between concentrated effort on something or being confused. Like I said, knowledge and wisdom. Or you're not quite sure how to get your ducks going forward, and it's causing unrest in you. That Three of Wands, the Three of Swords, can be a loop that you're playing in your head, right? So this is a very easy fix, guys, for whatever it is that you want to do. Get the paper and the pad out, honestly, and just look where you are wanting to go and where you can see and where you're willing to invest, and look at the parts of your life that are either holding you back, hindering you from doing this, or that you just need to clear out. And sometimes those are relationships. That Three of Swords can be, you know what? I've been carting this around for a very long time and it's not going anywhere, and it's hindering my growth. And what'll happen here too is when we're not able to express ourselves and do things that are perpetually moving us forward, growth, right? We become we fizzle out. We become withdrawn. We have no excitement. We become depressed. And before we know it, those loops are harder to get out of than had you caught it on the initial spiral, right? So that's what I think it's about. I think this is great potential in here. You just need to look at what it is that's hindering you from going forward. You know what, too? If you just are saying, I want to do this, I just don't have the energy reserve, and I don't know what it is, but I know that this is not what it is. You need to back the bus up. That's all. Look at the things that you do around your home when no one's there. Singing, dancing. What are you happiest with? When is your heart so light that there's not a care in the world at that moment? Those are the things that, in those moments, are the things that make you happy. There's something in the nugget of those times that propels you forward, right? Is that when my writer's block comes out, when no one is home and I can actually think and I say things that I'm like, wow, where did that even come from? Things like that. When we don't have the pressure of the world on us, which is why it's so important to take time, be patient, take time, be still, be quiet. All of these things unfold. This could be from A to Z, but there's something holding you back from going forward. That Ace of Wands and the Chariot card, oh my gosh, there is nothing that you can't accomplish with those two cards. You just need to figure out where that Three of Swords hiccup is. Something or someone or a way of thinking or a skill set, something is holding you back. But I'm telling you, you can absolutely have it here if you figure out what that Three of Swords is and you work with it and you fix it and you get your train going in the right direction here. That's all it is, guys. When it comes down to it, it's just realizing certain things about yourself and working to get them going in another direction. Sometimes, too, it's unlearning things to learn things fresh. And that means just really just letting it go. Letting it go and doing something the opposite of how you've done it. And you would be pleasantly surprised. I've test driven that too. It absolutely works. Okay, so there you go. I hope you have a wonderful day. I think this was a great reading. I see great promise in here. You're just going to have to put a little elbow grease in. That is all. Okay, so don't be afraid of that. The greatest rewards come from that. I can tell you. I can tell you that too. Okay, so there you go.